Welcome to Utah Stories Top 5, where we scour all the top headlines of the day, sift through all of the spin, clutter, and smoke screens, and present to you the most important and pressing headlines, saving you countless hours. I'm your host for today, Richard Markosian. On today's Top 5, we have number 1, a $1 billion NHL bill is filed in the Utah State Legislature. We'll go over that. Number 2, over 800 Utahns will benefit from the latest round in student loan debt forgiveness. Number 3, electricity costs for Utahns could go up over a proposed new bill. Number 4, Utah takes another step toward revealing student-athlete payments. Number 5, Lindsey, Stirling, violinist, hits it big on YouTube and is now touring the world. She went to BYU. We're going to tell you about her. But before we get into the headlines, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. And today's episode is brought to you by Utah Stories Magazine. Did you know for just $3 a month, we can deliver this magazine right to your home? Utah Stories has been in print for nearly 20 years, and there's a reason why people still love reading it on paper. It's a very fun and unique, tangible way to experience the world around you and escape the world of screens and the digital consciousness overtaking our minds. Why? Because print literally connects you with your local community in a way that screens cannot. Let's not undermine our real world communities, believing that somehow online communities should replace them. Utah Stories is your connection to the real world and your local community. Alrighty, let's dive into our first headline and story. A $1 billion NHL bill was filed in the Utah State Legislature. So not unlike the measure to bring Major League Baseball to Salt Lake City, this is by the Larry Miller family. This is by the current owner of the Utah Jazz, Ryan Smith, hopes to get $1 billion to bring entertainment and sports district to Salt Lake City. It's being proposed in hopes to lead a National Hockey League arena. The bill would allow Salt Lake City to raise sales taxes to help fund it through a bond. Quote, "One thing I love about the consumptive tax is you get to choose how much you pay, right?" Senator McKay, the senator sponsoring the bill, told Fox 13 News in an interview Thursday. Quote, "The initial revenue estimates show this is $1 billion. Salt Lake City still has to meet and impose the tax. This is an opportunity. The state is working with the city to create and really try to make a positive influence downtown," said Mayor Mendenhall, who's very supportive. So this is kind of like corporate welfare, obviously. Do you think the billionaires need our additional taxpayer support to build their billionaire dreams? Leave me some notes in the comments below. What do you think? I'd like to get into this. I'd like to have a guest on to talk about it, debate it, because both the Larry H. Miller family, they want $2 billion. Ryan Smith's family wants $1 billion of our taxpayer support. Obviously, these arenas are major boons to the economy around them, but how are locals going to benefit, really? Are we going to get more affordable housing? Are we going to get jobs and businesses for locals, by locals? Let me know what you think in the comments. So headline number 2, over 800 Utahns benefit from the latest round of student loan debt forgiveness. So there's $5.8 million of borrower debt in Utah that will be wiped clean, according to ABC4. The Biden-Harris administration rolled out another $1.2 billion in forgiveness under Biden's Saving on a Valuable Education plan. Overall, the plan forgave the debt of 153,000 student loan borrowers nationwide. I'm just going to have to comment on this. I know you probably don't want my opinion, but why stop with giving student loan debt forgiveness of the young people? Why not go back to people my age? I had so much student loan debt and I paid it off. Why not forgive that debt too? Just give me a big check too. And while you're at it, why not forgive my auto loan and my mortgage? Why doesn't the government just come in and forgive everybody's loans? I'd like to know. Why not? I mean, why should we have anybody having to pay monthly on any loan that they've ever received? I mean, I'm obviously being sarcastic, but I just kind of don't understand how that's the government's job to go in and forgive debt and use taxpayer money to forgive debt. I would love to, I'm sure people who have a lot of student debts, especially those who majored in underwater basket weaving, would love to see that debt forgiven. But it just goes with the territory. When you take out a loan, you got to pay it back. And I don't think it's the government's job. If you think I'm wrong, though, definitely just let us know. Let me know. I'd like to understand the other point of view, but I don't understand how it's anything else other than buying votes, essentially. Headline number 3, electricity costs for Utahns could go up under a proposed bill. A bill's moving through the Utah legislature that would give Rocky Mountain Power a powerful incentive to keep its coal plants in the state running. Utah customers would assume the cost risks, according to the Tribune. We are concerned, quote, this bill will have terrible impacts of raising rates, and the burden of proof shifts from the utility to the ratepayers, said Justin Farr, lobbyist for the Utah Association of Energy Users. That's a big concern. It upends decades of regulation and rate making. Rocky Mountain Power says that it's consistent with their long-standing practice to provide information to lawmakers. So they're hoping that this will pass, including the bill. It's called SB 224. You can go look it up. I mean, I don't know. I don't know on this one. You let me know if you know more about this than me. But obviously, burning fossil fuels is not a great way to produce energy, but it is the most reliable source, as we learned from the rolling blackouts in California and other places. Number 4, Utah takes another step toward NIL. That's name, image, and likeness regulation. This is about exposing what student athletes are being paid. Utah Senate Committee Wednesday advanced the state's first attempt to regulate college athletes' use of their names, images, and likeness. It would require athletes to submit any contract over $600 in value to the university. So rather than these being just private contracts, these would be public contracts. The school then must provide the athlete written acknowledgement regarding whether the contract conflicts with university policies or provisions of the proposed law. Bill sponsor Jordan Tesher, Republican South Jordan, told the committee universities would be an outlier and at a competitive disadvantage with other schools if athletes' NIL agreements were public records. Representative Kara Birkland from Morgan accused the media of wanting to exploit college athletes. Quote, the people that don't want this legislation to go forward are people who want to sell this information for clicks. They want to take private information between individuals that contract with businesses. They want to use that to drive people to their website and news articles. We shouldn't sell our college athletes for clicks. Should those contracts be public? I don't know. I think that athletes are starting to get big contracts with big endorsements. I don't know why that should be public. But if you know more than I do, again, leave your comments. All right, so we looked up the top Utah YouTubers, and it was really interesting. I kind of thought I might know a few, but the ones that I know of weren't even in the top 10. So we're going to be profiling Utah YouTubers because they're actually having a lot more influence than the local media, and so might as well get to know these people. So have you heard of Lindsey Stirling, a violinist who hit it big, first on America's Got Talent, and then on YouTube. She's touring the world. She's becoming internationally acclaimed and famous. I think I'd seen her before. She's really amazing. She dances around on the stage while she plays the violin, and she's just really amazing. I mean, she's got some really good talent, both in dancing and in violin. So she was born in Santa Ana, California, but she moved to Utah to attend BYU University, and she found her artistic voice. Stirling was a member of the band called Stomp on Melvin, but then her career took off after her appearance on America's Got Talent. The appearance gained the attention of cinematographer Devin Graham, with whom she has collaborated on several videos since 2010. Her YouTube fame has grown to over 13 million followers and billions of views. As of now, Stirling does not have any scheduled future Utah performances. I was hoping we could go see her, but nothing's on the schedule. Perhaps social media notoriety and YouTube income are contributing enough to make her take a pause from touring. We will continue to follow Stirling to see where her path leads, hopefully to more performances in Utah. All right, so our question of the day: how many members of Congress are worth over $10 million? So it's not that big of a deal to be a millionaire anymore. A lot of houses in Utah are now worth over $1 million, but what about 10 million? It turns out more than half of the members in Congress are millionaires. This comes from data on the most recent personal finance disclosures. The median net worth of members of Congress who filed disclosures last year is just over $1 million. Much of the wealth in Congress is concentrated at the top. The top 10% of the wealthiest lawmakers have 3 times more wealth than the bottom 90th percent, kind of like America these days. While some lawmakers are still paying off student loans, others are paying off their third or fourth mortgages. The group of the wealthiest members include career politicians such as Rick Scott, Republican from Florida. He's the wealthiest lawmaker with $260 million in assets. Scott dethroned Mark Warner, Democrat, after he won the election in 2018. Representative Greg Guyenfort from Montana made his wealth through a software company. He's the richest House member with $189 million. He chose to disclose his exact assets rather than showing them in wide ranges. He provided a clearer picture of his finances. The leaders of both chambers make up the top 10 list. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has seen her wealth increase to $115 million from $41 million in 2004. And Open Secrets began tracking the personal finances also of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who his net worth increased from $3 million to over $34 million. And that's the point that bothers me. Why should our congressional leaders, who are supposedly public servants, taking a hiatus from their job, using that platform to become millionaires? And why should insider trading be allowed? Nancy Pelosi bought tons of stocks, and I'm sure Mitch McConnell did as well. I'm sure they all do. And they're never accused of insider trading, using the law to regulate these giant corporations such as NVIDIA, which went up many, many times while Nancy Pelosi was holding it, and also making legislation on it. I don't think that these people should be allowed to do trading of stocks at all. What do you think? Leave me some more comments in our comments section below. All right, so our adventure today goes along with our upcoming beer issue, which comes out a week from today. I want to give you an adventure path for visiting Utah's microbreweries in Salt Lake. So Salt Lake has become an awesome place to go pub crawling for microbreweries. The last little pub crawl I did, I started at Level Crossing in South Salt Lake. Really great beer, really awesome pizza. Have your dinner there, then go across the street to Salt Fire and go sample some of their hazy IPAs and their sour beers. They're super good. And then if you still have the strength and tenacity, go to Templand Family Brewing, TF Brewing. They've got this incredible tap room, these long community tables. You can meet some really cool people there, meet friends to play games. And our beer issue, I wrote the introduction to it. I just think that beer is a great way to enjoy your community and make friends. If you're new to Salt Lake and you don't really know how or where to go to make friends, go to these tap rooms like Fisher Brewing, Templand Family Brewing, Salt Fire, Level Crossing, any of these. People are there to make friends and to socialize with each other. And you're going to find a really cool group of people who are young, vibrant, wanting to get to know more people. We were going there a lot till we had kids, but it's just a lot of fun. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.